Oh, what's up, guys? Hey, it's Phoenix here. And, what about the title? I got an interview at public library, local public library on Friday, right? I'm excited for it because apparently my dad is telling me it's bigger than what I originally thought it was. I just thought, oh, cool. I just get to talk about my book in front of a couple. My dad and grandfather were both like, no, this is a public library of a town. Like, it's way bigger than you think it is. So I put down a few notes and I gotta prepare for that. It'll be on the Facebook page. I believe I'm still waiting for some more information um, on exactly how this is supposed to work. But I'm looking forward to it. Um, quick book plug. Book plug. Sin's Awakening. Get back only $20. Kindle Unlimited free 99 minus 99, and Kindle normal Kindle $10. Make sure you also give it a rating and or review. I think rating and review gets us higher up on the rankings. So we're gonna upload. I did not read King's Flight. Tell me why. What's up, Phoenix? Tell you why. You mean as far as the title goes? Oh, I just thought, I just get to interview. I just get to talk in front of a few couple people live, like kind of how I do here, about my book and how I got the ideas and stuff like that. But apparently, my grandfather and dad were like, no, it's the public library of a town, and there are going to be a lot of people watching. And I'm like, oh, so this is like official. So, I'm looking forward to that. No, wait, what? Oh, you were talking about I can't tell what you, I can't tell. You didn't have the little song things next to your next to your comment, so I didn't know you were singing. Tell me why I assumed you were asking something about this. But yeah, sure. Um, I was going to answer back with the next line of the song, but I'm afraid of a copyright strike because they've already claimed a few copyright things based on what I've done already. They meaning YouTube, which is also muted audio already, so you gotta be careful with that. Lots to be careful. Um, cool. Okay, let's upload part. Chapter 11. Let me get that ready. Chapter 11. Still, I didn't read chapter 10 yet, but I think I'm gonna just upload the last 3 chapters of Antithesis' origin and check them after I've already uploaded them. kind of confusing, not sure if the interview or the library is big. What's up, Caesar? Both. I've been to the library a few times, but oh, well, thank you for the follow, Phoenix Flight. You were talking about my book. Yes, I was talking about my book. Yeah, we released it. My grandfather knows somebody who's knows somebody of the director of a local um one of my local public libraries, and I essentially got the hookup. So I'm gonna be promoting it, and hopefully something else comes from that because I don't know who's going to be watching. I don't know how many people are going to be there. Superhero book, not sure how many. Well, yeah, I'm not exact. I'm kind of in the dark about how this is gonna go down, and it's only a few days away. Um, Phoenix. If interested in joining the Discord group from nothing but Twitch writers, it's for help and stuff. I already did. I know you're probably talking about the Twitch writer. No, don't switch. The Twitch Writers Network thing, right? Or promotion, which is important. Yeah, I'm already a part of it. Yeah, who sent me the invite? I think Axel Boost sent me the invite. Yeah. I haven't promoted on here. I wasn't. Was I aware there was promotion? I don't remember. Yeah, I'll definitely do some promotion on there. I don't like promoting on other people's stuff. Normally, it doesn't make me feel very good, especially if there's no response out of it. Um, but I'll look into it. Where is the end of this chapter, bro? There. Okay, so then we have tomorrow. We have one more chapter of this origin to upload, and then I'll find out some other things to start uploading. Who's in this chapter? It's still more angels, right? Said Apothea will be the last chapter, so let's find like maybe Grim. Hey, how's it going? Stream quality, yeah. Let's upload Grim. As I said, I'm excited for this interview. I've been interviewed once before, but it was by a friend and it was kind of on our podcast. But I'm actually going to look back at that. That'll be a good reference for questions that they might be asking me. I'm sure they're going to hit me with a few questions that I wasn't expecting them to ask, but like I said, we're going to see. We're going to see. Let's add chapter 11 here. I thought I was already level 2. Poll. I need to add a poll to the chapter too. For this one and Scribble Hub. Okay, let's add the final chapter here. Oh, I got 2 ratings. Nice. Somebody gave me a 5-star rating on this too. Cool. Synthesis. Origin. Chapter 11. Throw it in there. Then we'll add the polls later. Apologies for not being able to read. Well, I could read this on stream, but apologies for not reading it on stream because I kind of want you guys to experience the story for yourselves, and I might not read it in a way or describe it in a way that you guys that you guys might if you were to read it on your own. So it's chapter 11 is on all three of these sites: Wattpad, Railroad, and Scribble Hub. And then tomorrow we will be uploading the final chapter of the Abandoned Angel Antithesis Origin. And then do we have we? I think we have Captivity. I think we're gonna upload Captivity next because for the other two sites it's kind of like series. Profile. So since Captivity falls under Antithesis is stories, it'll be it'll it'll fall under his series. Okay, so we're done with that. So let's go. We were still creating. Last time we left off, we were still creating the power system, and I was really focused in on it last time. I wasn't as animated as I can be on camera. What was that? I don't really need that tab anymore. So, to catch you up, in case you were not here yesterday, if the document wants to grace me with being allowed to click it. There it is. Okay. So I'm changing around. Yo, what up, C4? Welcome to the stream. So we're gonna change around the system of Disturbed Delinquents a little bit. Disturbed Delinquents is the series I've been writing pretty consistently on stream for the past. It's been a few weeks, like 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I want there to be, because I don't want it to be too similar to Descendant, right? To where, everybody has these superpowers that are pretty similar to other people that already have those superpowers, all that type of stuff. I'm trying to avoid that. So, as you might know, Disturbed Delinquents takes place on an alien planet where there are Stellars, which are essentially humans, but they are born with natural superpowered abilities. Aliens from all over, all walks of life, so it's like a splurge of aliens. And robots as well. Not as many as you'd think, or as many Stellars or aliens, but they're sprinkled around. So we're actually get rid of robots that might make it less confusing, because if it's life force or something like that they're drawing from in order to use their superpowers, and robots technically aren't alive, and that get rid of like AI debate and stuff like that. So maybe we'll get rid of robots. Let's put a strike through on this. Okay. So I'm building a power system for this planet, right? I'm asking myself a few questions I haven't answered yet. But where does the power force come from? I'm thinking the Cosmic Council. You might have seen them. They are mentioned a few times. One of the characters in the first book of Descended is part of the Cosmic Council. They're mentioned here and there. Their names are sprinkled about all of my series. All of my series that happen at the same time. Who is the force? Who builds the force for power effect? I also need to name it. Don't have a name for it yet. Not sure who it affects. I'd say since we're getting rid of robots, and I only added robots because Exabyte is part of the main team. That's why I added robots to the thing. We actually, up until this point, besides Exabyte in chapter 5, we have not met another robot besides Exabyte. So I think I'm gonna. It's the power force. The power affects living beings on the. I keep getting this. Dropping frame. Living beings on the planet of Disturbed. That makes it a little easier when I get rid of robots, because if I said living beings, then robots wouldn't be affected. And I'm not really using robots like that, so I don't know why I included them in the description. So of course I want there to have a limit. There might be a few exceptions to where people can increase their limit or make this spiritual thing limitless. Is it scientific or magical? I'd say magical slash spiritual. There's no real science to it. And I think I'm going to describe it as, did I write that down? I don't see it. So, I might have it to where the Cosmic Council was formed on this planet before all of these other walks of life started forming there, like stellars and aliens that started traveling there. Maybe this was like the planet the council was formed on. The council leaves, do their duties as Cosmic Council, and these 9 classes of superpowers are left behind for the people that I'm trying to figure out if, let's say, the people that are born there. Yeah. Trying to figure out if I want like it to be a thing where it's like a certain amount of time you spend there, you get your abilities, or if you're born there, you already have your abilities. I think I want it to be if you're born on the planet, you're a part of that planet. It's like your birthplace, so you have these abilities with you. Can the power be found? I don't think I want the power to be found. I'm going to leave that question open as well. And then this question, I don't have an answer to yet either. Do they need to pass an exam of some sort in order to use their abilities in public? Do they need to go to school in order to learn their abilities properly? I'm liking the idea of school, but I also have another series called Specialists where it's like takes the same place, same time as I have like 4 series that take place at the same time as Descendant. 4 main series. There are a few spin-off series that also take place during like gaps in between in Descended. For example, Ascended series follows 2 angels in the heaven dimension during a time where the angels are not present on Earth. But Specialist is also that school type vibe where, well, it is a school. They're all in school. It takes place on the west coast of the states, and they are all training. They're fresh out of high school. They're all training with one superpower that they're given and a weapon that complements their superpower to become essentially America's super weapons, like be used in battle like soldiers. So I'm not sure if I want to go the school route or just an exam route to where anybody of any age can take some sort of exam in order to use their powers in public for any purpose. And if I were to go the exam route, they're able to use their powers, without any consequence. That would also contribute to the dystopia-esque feel, because if there's like no laws or anything like that on the planet, then everybody using their powers and without any sort of consequence would make sense, as far as like the criminal underground and all that, and why the criminals aren't being stopped. But then the heroes are like, you know what, we got to put an end to this. We got to become like some sort of good force on this planet because this planet is out of control. So I'm liking exam. I'm gonna write down what I just said. Let's do this. If it is some sort of exam, then it that allowed beings to use their abilities without any sort of consequence, then it would contribute to the dystopia vibe of the planet, because it would then be a lawless planet. contribute 2. Wow, I missed a lot of words and letters. I didn't realize I missed that many. So let's get into the groups, and I'm still trying to figure out the last 4 groups. We have 5 groups right now, and we might only end up with 8 because I'm not sure I want time to be a group, because time can be broken AF. I am not good with time travel anything. I have never, like, you could explain to me, listen, time travel, you could go forwards and backwards. You could be like that to me, and I'll be like, I don't know what you're talking about. Time travel movies always F with my head. Even something like, I don't know if Endgame was in depth or not, but something like that was still confusing me because I was asking questions during the movie, like, how does that work? So I might just get rid of time as a power for anybody, or a category for anybody completely. Also things like JoJo's where the one always has some sort of time power, like was part 3 and god dang it, part 5, bro. Oh wait, let me update the follow thing. Part 3 and part 5, bro. Why the villains always got? Well, I get it because you got to work up to the villain, but why is it always pertaining to time? Is it because the protagonist can be so overpowered that you can only do time abilities? I don't know. So let's break down the groups that I have so far. They're very subject to change. I'm not sure just yet. So we have nature. So the Cosmic Council member, Mother Nature, is the Sentry, the embodiment of nature, which is on the what's it called? The alignment chart is on my alignment chart represents lawful good. I can add that. These people are kinetics. I'm not sure if I want them to be kinetics or mancers. Mancers makes them magical. Elementals, I'm not going to call them that because elementals is an alien race of mine already, so that would be very confusing. Kinetics is more science, but it's based on movement, and there's a lot more terms for kinetic as opposed to mancer. Plus, kinetic sounds better, like pyrokinetic, opposed to pyromancy. So these are people who can control and generate a specific element. The broadest, I said the broadest and most common category, but I think I want to make that the instinct one, actually. Plus Fiero, the embodiment of instinct, doesn't get a lot of shine right now in any of my series. So I think I want to make the self-boosting the most common category. Get rid of this. Because I don't want there to be that many people that can control all sorts of elements, and then I only want to pretty much limit it to one. If I have one fire person, that's the only fire person you're going to see in this series. I don't want repeat characters in the same. I have a few in Descended. They're like 5 people that can shoot fire from their hands in the Descended series. One of them being a main character, and it's like, first of all, fire is my favorite element, so you can't fault me for that. But like, do I really need all that fire power? I'm not sure whether I want it to be kinetic or master just yet, but that's that. Reconnaissance might be one, but reconnaissance might also fall under self-boosting, because self-boosting is anything you can do to your body that maybe enhances it, does something to it. And that falls under instinct. I'm probably going to end up getting rid of reconnaissance because it also doesn't really fall under anything else. I was gonna have reconnaissance as like something like invisibility, but or like digital vision or most of the vision powers, like digital vision, thermal vision, night vision, all of that, like that would fall under reconnaissance. But beyond vision and invisibility, what else would reconnaissance have? Go ahead, tell me. I'll wait. No, I'm not gonna wait. Um, yeah, so I'm probably getting rid of reconnaissance. So forget that. Let's move on to Dr. Narake. She represents chaotic evil on the alignment chart. Um, she's the century and embodiment of chaos. Um, so this is she represents the transmutators, people who can change things. So there that falls under two types of LBJK onwards. Yeah, yeah. I wasn't gonna sit there and wait for anybody to tell me too. Because like I said, I'm really into like I've never created. I want this power system to be really balanced, like make sense as to who could win this fight. You got to use your smarts and all that. Um, I've never created like a power system like this before. Like I've created superpowers, but like nothing as far as balancing goes. Like in the Descendant series, people use their powers. It doesn't always just come down to a fist fight. Like you might not necessarily know who's going to win. You can know their abilities. You know everything you need to know about them. But based on who's fighting who's, you might not know who's going to win, or you might not be able to make a prediction. Um, So transmutators represent they're on chaos's side because changing things that might not need to be or aren't supposed to be changed. Um, so transmutators, people who can change one thing into something else. So there are two types of transmutators. They have a subclass. Self-transmutators, so people who can turn themselves or a part of themselves into something else or extend a part of their body. So, for example, Morphson, who is who's the main villains, one of the main villains, like right hand men. Um, I think I'm just going to him shape shifting, but shape shifting can be really boring if you don't use it right. Um, Turning into other people and using their voice, like I'm not sure I want that for him. I might want something a little more creative than that. But I just gave an example ability. If you can grow wings, you're a self transmutator in the transmutator class, right? And then there's other transmutator because I couldn't think of the opposite of self-transmutator. Um, so that's people who can turn something into something else. So say I pick up this remote here, remote for my monitor. Not a monitor. My dad calls it a monitor. It's a TV. It's got sound on it and everything. All right. And so say I pick up this remote, right? And I hold it in my hands, and then you see this remote turn to gold. That's a other transmutator, so they can turn something into something else. Or say I pick up this water gun here. You might have seen this something about water gun. And you pick up this water gun, and then it turns into a butterfly. That's an other transmutator. I'm going to give it a better name. I promise you, I'm going to give it a better name, but I don't have a better name just yet. So that's that class. Those are two classes so far. Forget reconnaissance. Don't look at this. Don't look at this one. I'm gonna highlight it so you don't look at it. Don't look at that. So moving on, this two classes so far. We have instinct. So this is the self-boosting one. So this represents Fiero is the chaotic good alignment. He's the self-embodiment of and century of instinct. So self-boosting, people who can enhance themselves with the use of. I just capitalized it and called it the power. That is, I promise you, that's not going to be its final name. I will give it a better name. Power, in this case, represents something like, I'm going to give you an example. Dragon Ball Z has ki. That's what they draw from. That's how they can create those massive balls of energy to throw at planets and stuff. Naruto has chakra. So that's how they can do the washing your hands thing. I cannot read the name because it is dark blue on my screen and the background is black, but I see Turtle Marathon. on the table, Turtle Boy walking on the table. That's what it looks like. I'm just calling you Turtle. I am not making a game. I'm creating a story though, and I would love for the story to be a game at some point. Any of my series can be games, or manga, or anime, or anything really. Um, but I'm creating a power system essentially, Turtle. And I'm explaining that, and I'm trying to figure out what I want the last few categories to be, if I need there to be other categories. There are tons of superpowers out there, and there are tons of creative ones that I know haven't been created, but I want to create. So self-boosting is like I said, people who can enhance themselves with the use of the power. Like I said, I'm not gonna call it that. I was talking about examples. So examples: Dragon Ball Z, it's Ki. They blow up planets and stuff. Naruto has chakra. Um, Hunter x Hunter has. I'm learning about the Nen power system. They have aura. Um, but this is going to be. I think I want this to be the broadest and most common category because there can be a lot of self-boosting superpowers that are pretty useless. Like, hey, I can make my nails really long. Okay, are they unbreakable? No, I can just grow them out really far. What use is that? I don't know. Pretty useless. Like that's what stuff like that would fall under. That's all self-boosting. I'm also going to give that better name. That's just to explain what that is. Just asking because I've been trying to make a strategy board game in my spare time. That's what's up, dude. That's what's up. I've done us a lot of work, dude. What kind of what kind of game is it? Well, you said strategy board game, but like, is there like a theme to it? Like medieval strategy board game. It's in space, something like that. Like, I imagine that's a lot. Let me know how that's going. Um, so Fenders, that's a subclass I have right now. I might change it. That might, like I said, none of this stuff is subject to be permanent. It's all subject to change. There's people who use their abilities for defense. So there's a guy I have. He does not have a name, but I have a power that I drew from somewhere where you can has a lot of defense, but if you start chipping away at defense, the more and more defense comes away. But he's kind of just like essentially a brick wall, and that defense will build back up once it's stripped down and all that. Um, so a perfectly common example of a defender would be somebody who can like generate force field, or somebody who has super endurance or super durability. Um, so that's self boosting. Some other examples. What else? Super strength. That's self boosting. Enhance all your senses. That's self boosting. All of that. Self boosting is very, like I said, broadest category. Um, so next one, that's 3 so far. Like I said, don't look at this one. I'm gonna highlight it so you don't so it doesn't get your attention. Um, next one, Axel. This boy. I have a picture of him. It's just the cutest picture. So we'll bring up this picture. Axel, he is chaotic neutral in the alignment chart. He represents there's the boy. Originally wasn't a part of the Cosmic Council. He had a backstory and everything, but because my brother told me this, he said there's like something about every member of the Cosmic Council that makes him feel like they belong as part, like they're weird enough in their own ways that make them like he can understand why their weird selves are a part of something as big as what they are. So this is Axel. He is the embodiment and sentry of space. So his powers, he can like essentially teleport anywhere, any place. And if he's wearing one of Chronocron's watches, he's on a literal time machine that doesn't have any feelings of any sort or anything. If he's wearing one of the watches, he can teleport to any point in time, anywhere in time. So he represents, these are traversers. All these names I said are subject to change. Like I said, I'm coming up with some terms here. So these are people that, oh, this picture. I don't know this picture. These are people that mess with space, whether it be traversing through it or causing something to traverse through it. So, for example, Howl's dimension clause. So Howl is this boy here. I am not going to tell you what his identity is because his identity is. Well, I'm never going to confirm or deny what his identity is. But he has dimension clause, so if he swipes at the air, right? Swipes at the air, he opens a little pocket rift to hell. And they're like, might be like bats or something, hell bat, something that fly out the thing and cause chaos. But he can also control whatever being pops out of his dimension rift. So he can essentially slash at the air and open a portal. So that's an example. Another creative example I had, because that's one of my creative examples. Auditory teleportation, one of the main characters of the Disturbed series. I used her as I wanted to draw inspiration from her, because to me she has one of the creative powers of the series so far. Auditory teleportation, she can teleport to the nearest or loudest sound she hears, either or. That could be to her advantage or disadvantage. So say a villain like pushes a wall, she's like, "Oh gosh, is my friend in trouble?" She teleports to it. The villain's like, "Ah, gotcha. It was a trick the whole time, and I fooled you. I fooled you." So she's an example. She's an example of a traverser. And then we have the final one so far, destruction. So domination. Most people just call him Dom. He doesn't care if you call him Dom or domination. He is the sentry and embodiment of destruction, and he represents. These are the weapon controllers. Definitely not a permanent name, because that is not very catchy in the slightest. Did the thing pause? It, it paused. Why is YouTube doing this now, bro? I don't get that. So these are the weapon controllers. So I'm just read it. They create and control a special weapon that cannot be found anywhere in any universe or any alternate dimension of any sort. So their weapons are very unique to them. Can be variations of a weapon that's very common. Something as like, you see a guy with a green sword walking down the street and it has acid dripping from it. That's his sword. You know, based on what he's carrying, he's a weapon controller. See how it doesn't come properly. So that's them. For example, Vice's raps. So Vice, I don't think I have a complete picture of him. I don't know why this isn't book ready. Incomplete. So Vice, he has these raps. He's a top tier fighter. These raps, he's able to manipulate and move around. So say he like punches somebody, raps can shoot out at them on their own, wrap around them, and bring them back to him so he can beat them up some more. He can bind somebody with these raps. These raps can do a lot. They're not very easy to take down. But Vice is a character in the Descended series, so I was just giving an example of somebody's weapons that can be used like a weapon controller. I got it. Manipulator, I feel, would be too similar to Kinetic or Mancer, because Manipulator, the technical term for most of the Manipulator powers, say somebody has Cryomancy, it's ice manipulation or ice generation. That'd be too similar, so I don't think I'm going to be Manipulator for that term. But we have four more categories left, and I'm trying to figure out exactly how they fit in here. The order I'm having a tough time with, because I kind of want order to be the opposite of chaos, transmuters, but from whatever I can conjure up with for order, it just be something that seems too similar to self-boosting. So say you're under the order category and you hold your hand out, and as long as you hold your hand out at something, that object cannot move, no matter how hard they try. That's really specific. I kind of like that. It's really specific though, and I don't see many people under this category. I don't see many powers under this category. So I'm not entirely sure. So Astral, who represents the embodiment of evil, she could be theft. That's why there's a question mark there. So like stealing abilities or taking things away. Suck's vacuum ability. That's not his name. I just call him Suck for the time being because he sucks things. So Suck can suck the oxygen out of a particular range. I haven't given him a range yet because he doesn't even have a name yet. Suck the oxygen out of a particular area. I had another character similar to what he can do. He didn't last very. I can't say much on him, but Redox, who essentially is an oxygen vampire because he needs to feed these flames around him, especially the flame on his head. Has to suck the oxygen to feed the ever starving fire that is covering his face, or that is his face. Power negation could also be something up there. I'm thinking maybe anything to do with other people's powers might be something. Uh, might be something Astral thing could fall under. Then we have Chronocron. Like I said, I'm not too sure I want time to be in there. You heard my whole spiel earlier. We're gonna leave that alone for now. Then for Truviana, she represents the century. She's a century of good, embodiment of good. So if evil was theft and dealing with other people's powers, Bestowal could also be dealing with other people's powers, but opposite of theft, giving, which also represents charity, which would also be good. So I'm thinking something like Bestowal. I'm not exactly sure what else could fall under Bestowal. Like, I grant you the ability to fly. Like, that seemed overpowered, so I'd have to figure something else out about that. That was the longest recap ever, and I was also recapping myself. So, yeah, I don't think we're gonna have time. Plus, Chronocron on the alignment chart is also like neutral. So if time is neutral, he's neutral. I don't think it'd make much sense for him to be a part of this whole. So, and plus, it would shorten this power system, close this power system, keep the power system tight knit. Plus, since he's a time machine, you don't know if he's technically living, so we could say his essence when he left the planet, like the rest of the Cosmic Council, didn't leave behind anything. So nobody has anything to do with time abilities. So let's put him at the bottom here. R.I.P. my boy. Has he any abilities? Dealing with time. No, I spelled that wrong. Time are what was the word I was using? Neutral. Also, it could be argued the essence that the other council members left behind, leaving the planet. Didn't fall from this non-living being. Chron's a robot, so saying it could be argued that's not necessarily true. Maybe somebody down the line will pop up with some time abilities, and they'll be like, "Whoa, I thought nobody even fell under that category, bro." Then they'll be like, "Surprise, I, I do." Um, so let's get rid of Reconnaissance. I kind of want to refer to it as Kinetics, even though I know that's not the proper term. Like I said, it just sounds cooler. Here. Aerokinetic. Aerokinetic. I know the term. Like, if I want to create a term for something like being able to control pens, like I know it's the Greek word, then kinetic or mancy after. But pyro apparently in Greek is uh, fire. Like, but I looked it up on Google Translate, and it said something completely different. So maybe Google Translate is not a reliable source, or maybe it's referring to older Greek language or something like that. Not entirely sure. Not entirely sure. Um, so let's figure out these. Stole. So let's use the wiki page. Oh, this is the pictures. The pictures, guys. The back. The back. Okay, what are you doing? The back. The back, because they're happy. Pictures always be here. Application, erasure. Power negation is pretty much power erasure. But negating it would just cancel it out, but erasure would completely get rid of it. Randomization, detection. A little something like power swap. That would be very inconvenient. Maybe a temporary power swap. I could see a character like that. So they would fall under what was the thing we was talking about? Oh, so let's put this above Cosmoses because we don't have anything for Cosmoses yet. So we'd only need two more categories. Yeah, I like the idea of theft for the evil. Beefs. That. What's others? Abilities. Stealing ability. So we're gonna put sucks vacuum ability as an example, and power intimidation as an example, and power swap. Pretty creative. Temporary power swap. I guess that fall under superpower manipulation then. Affinity, that's copying powers. I have a character like that actually called Affinity in the Descended series, but she joins book 6, 5 or 6. Just say power copying. Power mimicking. Better word. So there's some examples under that. See, these personal physical powers would all fall under self-boosting. Like if an alien or a stellar had these abilities. Retraction, all of that. Generation, all of this would fall under the kinetics. Kinetic means like move, I believe, but they can't. They don't always only just have the power to move it. They can create it. So pretty much, what I'm going to make it is, and I'll write this down. The kinetics pretty much embody the element they control. Control. So somebody like Vermilion, who's a nuclear pyrokinetic, different from a normal pyrokinetic, would be able to turn into fire or create fire weapons, something like that. Yes. Like I said, I want to keep the kinetics pretty like different. So somebody who's a cryokinetic might not be able to actually manipulate water, just ice or create ice. So hydrokinetic would be different from cryokinetic. These enhanced physical skills also fall under self-boosting. That's why I said it's the broadest. All this vision would fall under. That would be self as well. See why it's the broadest? That's why. That's why vision is the broadest. I'm gonna mute my phone. Hang on here. How would it be? So what would somebody like a telekinetic fall under? Kinetic. They'd have to. Rotation, that's traversing, portals, portal creation. What could these two fall under? Maybe one could deal with mind. Like messing with another's mind. Would that fall under order or would that fall under good? Probably order. Like mind control. Trying to get you to follow the rules I want you to do. Maybe all of that's mind stuff. I don't have any mind anything on here. Besides, really speaking, the telekinetics and the crowd, all of that. But this is all done with their mind anyway. So maybe people who deal with others' minds. So I guess in a way it could be opposite of the chaos, which are mutating, which means they're manipulating physical things. So if you're messing with somebody's mind, that's a lot less. That's almost not really physical at all, unless you're actually messing with their physical brain, like moving it around in their head or something. So yeah, I think mine would fall under order. I'd have to really nerf the mind people though. Like they'd have to have some sort of crazy weakness because mind abilities can be overpowered. So maybe not only limiting the range or the amount of energy, power, whatever you want to call it, willpower, aura, ki, chakra, whatever. I'm going to call it something. So maybe also limiting not only the range, but the amount of that essence that they have to use at a time. So let me make that note. That's for example. So note, limit the range on the abilities. So maybe somebody who's a master at using their abilities would be able to overcome some of these weaknesses. So not everybody who has these who falls under the order tree would be able to like walk around and be like, hey, I hear somebody on the other side of the planet thinking about hot dogs. Like, say they haven't been training their whole life to master their mind abilities, like they wouldn't. Somebody normal would be able to do something like that. Limit the range on the abilities and the amount of, just put it in brackets, power they can use. Like I said, mind abilities can be very overpowered. I think illusions would fall under. God, illusion abilities would fall under mind. Alright, I'm liking that so far. So we have one more. Evil is stealing, so like I said, bestowal might be something, but power bestowal is only one power. So we need something more solid than just moving people. What besides, maybe they're like assist people, something like that. I can enhance your super abilities. I can, protect me, but I'm gonna enhance you. That, I don't see how well that would do in a combat situation. Like they're just hiding behind bots. Like, hey, you need some more of that energy. I got you, bro. Like, how useful would they be? Alchemist manipulation, that would fall under kinetics. All these manipulations pretty much kinetic. It's a pretty good one. I've been thinking about changing Solace's power. So I have somebody in the Specialist series with Arcos that can manipulate black sand, but if I give Solace black sand and like magma control or something like that, generating lava and black sand, which they pretty much coincide because I believe black sand comes from, it can also be created, I believe, but black sand comes from lava or volcano erupting or something like that. It makes the sand black. I think it's soot from the eruption. I'm not entirely sure. I need to look into it more. But I think Solace has something like that. That'd be dope to see. You can see how he could be overpowered, but not really. Because all of these people, unless you are specifically self-boosting and can enhance your durability, you're pretty limited as far as protecting yourself goes. Most of these people could get straight up shot by a bullet, if they're not prepared to fight somebody who shoots them in a bullet, That's where I don't want them. That's why I was saying I don't want them to be like overpowered. Yes, there are going to be some. I forgot. There are going to be some people, of course, that might break some of these rules. Not all of them. Hopefully. But yeah, this is all kinetic stuffs. Energy, I would say energy also falls under kinetic things, constructs, able to create things. That's still, I'd say that's still kinetic. Maybe summoning. What's the evil thing again? Stealing, so maybe summoning, adding to, instead of taking from, adding to. So summoning thing of some sort. Like summoning a golem, or summoning an army of pens. Maybe let's bestow summoning. Oh shoot, it's 9 o'clock. I didn't even realize, bro. Focus, guys. Alright. Good news, very good news. If you are still watching. I don't have a note there. What am I doing? Summoning a rock golem, summoning an army of twins. Good news tomorrow, starting tomorrow, for a week, we will be extending the stream 9:30. I announced this last week and maybe a little bit in the week before that. But starting, good session, you got lots to appreciate it, C4. It felt like I was talking most of the time, and I probably was, but I appreciate it. Next, starting tomorrow, we will be extending the stream to 9:30. We're going to be streaming for an hour and a half for a week. We're going to see how it goes. We're going to see if we can keep everybody together, all the regulars showing up and all of that for the long session. And then if it goes really well this week, we will be extending the stream 2 hours next Monday. That will be from 7:30 to 9:30. So I could pop in and out, plenty of time to get lots of writing done. I'm doing this because, first of all, a lot of people have been asking me to stream longer, because an hour, not that long. Like you just saw me realize I didn't realize it was 9 o'clock already. So also in that, I feel like I'd be getting a lot more writing done. And I feel like I could be getting a lot more writing done because I'm not doing as much writing as I feel I should be when I'm off stream. So yeah, we're gonna see how it goes. So starting tomorrow, we'll be streaming from 8 to 9:30 p.m. Make sure y'all get yourselves a copy of the book. We got an interview. It's gonna be on Inglewood Public Library's Facebook page. That's Inglewood with an E because I'm in Jersey. So look forward to that on Friday. It should be at 3:30. I was about to say no. Make sure you guys buy some paperback, or what paperback. I don't know why you would want something as thick as this. Kindle Unlimited one, you're up $3.99 minus the 99, and Kindle normally is $10. Make sure you also give it a rating, because ratings are very important. If you just give it a star rating, it's completely fine. If you could do a rating and a review, that's even better, because that gets our rankings in the Amazon store more than you can imagine. I gave an example. We went from 3,000 to close to like 1,800 based off of one 5-star rating. So make sure you guys do that. Chapter 11 up of the story will be uploading the last chapter tomorrow at the beginning of the stream. Shouts out everybody. Shouts out to Phoenix and Flight for the follow. Shouts out to Hitties in the chat too. Shouts out to Caesar the Ride always stopping by. Shouts out to Daddy for watching, and of course my boy C4. Also shouts out to, I believe your name is Turtle. That's gonna be it from the board for tonight. I'm catching up on the YouTube videos. I'm uploading the streams to YouTube. So there's a highlight clip. My first highlight clip. So be sure to check that out. I swear in it because when I'm streaming video games, I'm not as family friendly, so I tell my family not to watch. But it's a very funny clip I did. I took Warzone when I streamed that. But for the final time. Good night, guys. I think Ness just started streaming, so we're gonna wait Ness again. Pigeon dating for real this time. Oh gosh. Well, I don't know if that's about to be about, but I'm gonna send you guys over to her. And that's it. We're gonna start that up. There we go. Alright, thank you guys so much for watching. Hey everybody back here, in this J-Base Phoenix once again.